everybody, welcome back to ATCB. Today we're going to do one of our overview things, a kind of combo unboxing, rules overview, roundtable review discussion thing. God, just call it an overview, it's fine. Of Inish, which I think is the correct pronunciation. If you want to see us play this game, there's a link in the video description below to our full playthrough. So what is Inish? Well, Inish is a light strategy game with...
relatively light.
It is relatively light. Mechanically it's light.
Yeah.
With card drafting mechanics, territory control, not so much worker placement, but clan placement, I guess, set in Bronze Age Ireland. I really like the art on the front of this box, but I understand if you don't. It's pretty specific. Before we do a quick rules overview, let's look at the various... But first of all, it's a fairly good sized box. The interior layout is useless but pretty, so that's a thing. Yeah, you get a bunch of cards which are on what I would reckon. See, I actually think this is a bit too thin for cardstock. I think they're a bit bendy and flexy. And this is just, talking about the components and stuff, but yeah. On the other hand, they're all super pretty. These have various landscapes on them because they're the advantage cards you get from controlling certain territories. These are action cards, which are kind of the main meat of the game, which all, again, have really, really pretty artwork. And then we have the Epic Tale cards, which probably have the prettiest artwork, I'd say, which are really nice. Really very nice. Again, like flavourful. If you're a sucker for historical authenticity, this might not be the game for you. Like it's based on Irish mythology rather than Irish history, right? So it's got like lots of elements of that in. The components here, the little clan models you get, are vibrantly coloured, which I like. You may not. The sculpts are fine.
Oh,
yeah, they're quite nice.
Really, the woman who is bending into the wind.
There is a woman who is bending into the wind a lot, but as with all, and there's bendy spears. But as with all things, these can be solved with hot water or whatever. So don't fret about that too much. They're not too complex. It's definitely not a mini game, as in miniature game, not as in mini game.
No.
It's neither of those things.
It is neither of those things.
These ones are lovely, though.
These ones are lovely as well, though. These are the citadels and the sanctuaries. Actually, that's a big citadel because it's the capital one. I don't want to deceive you. That's what a regular citadel one looks like, with a little hole for someone to cower inside. That is something that literally happens in the game as well. You can put a little model in there, which is neat. And then the kings of the components. There's this stuff as well, which is fine, but that's not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about, if Sky will help demonstrate, is these lovely interlocking territory cards.
Alright,
which are
we've got things
super
like
nice.
The Iron Mine and Stone Circle. Quite a lot of these have sort of different rules.
Like effects. For the tile,
effects on the tile.
And they all have these individual advantage cards, which give you different things if you're in control of them. These are lovely.
So
they are so pretty. They're lovely, nice and thick cardstock. I love that they're interlocking cards that don't just do like a jigsaw puzzle thing, like the shapes. Like I love that it has this weird.
And it can go in from several different
angles.
so
angles,
really...
and you can do stuff, whatever. So yeah, they're lovely thick cardstock as well for people who are interested in such things like me. So yeah, that's kind of what you get in Inish altogether. For context, I got this for about £40, or the retail price was £40. Yeah, so that's fairly reasonable. We'll talk about that again in the roundtable. As for a rules overview, you might think looking at this like, oh, it's got different things and placements and stuff like that, so it's probably quite complex. It's not really, and a hell of a lot of it is played off the cards. So essentially, at the beginning of the game, you have a certain amount of territory spawn, essentially, depending on what your game, how many people are playing the game. Also, the territories that spawn are either random, or if it's your first game or you just want to use that, there's like a starter scenario to have a specific 4 territories on. You do a kind of clan placement, where you put 2 clans on the board each, and then you just get going with drafting the action cards, which I won't go into the details of it because it's a fairly normal drafting
pretty much
mechanic. You take 4 cards, you pass 3 on, it goes round, then you pass 2 on, then you pass 1 on, and blah blah blah, until you have all the action cards you want. They all do different things, like let you spawn new clans, let you invade areas, let you put new sanctuaries and citadels down, with the eventual aim of either being in 6 territories, being in control over 6 opposing clans, which implies, for example, if this is the plains here, if blue is here with 3 and green is there with 1, blue would be in control of 1 opposing clan. So, you know, if you add another 1 to that and have another 3 of those territories, that's a win condition. The last one is to be in territories with a grand total of 6 sanctuaries. You can have any number of sanctuaries in a territory. So if you just were in one that had 6,
if you're in one of these, which is that already is a sanctuary,
yeah,
then
so
that's
that
a really
already
good
comes
win
into play.
condition.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, if you have one of those win conditions in play, you then have to spend an action to get a pretender token. And at the beginning of the next round, if there's only one person with a pretender token, they win.
And the condition's still valid.
And the condition is still valid. Or there's essentially like a first player controller, who's the person who's in control of kind of the home territory that you set at the beginning of the game, called the Bren, and they break ties. So that's essentially the other way you determine winners. There's not much to it other than that. There are, as I say, if you're in control of a territory, you have an advantage card, which can give you certain things. If you there are epic tail cards you can pick up through using action cards, and there are, anytime you move to a new territory, you can have the option of clashing or fighting with people with individual clans in there, at which point people can hide in territories, or you can go on to do attacks to wipe out opponents' action cards or clans. I'm not going to go into a beat-by-beat laydown of it, because like to go any further would actually essentially just be directly explaining the rules of the game.
Yeah.
It's really quite
It's not
straightforward.
much
Very simple.
It is very straightforward. So yeah, we're going to have a sit around the table now, and we're going to talk about what we think of Inish. Inish round table discussion.
It's amazing.
This game is really good.
Yeah.
I played 2.5 games of this now. I'd like to think that I played enough games that I know when a game will last and when I genuinely like it and it's not just a flush of new game. This is a really good game. It's an exceptional light strategy game that I would be happy to use to introduce people to strategy games, or to, I guess it's kind of Euro-y style game, like a light Euro.
It is worker placement.
Yeah, there's some element of that, and the drafting and using stuff. I would say that as a light strategy game, this rivals Small World.
I enjoyed that more than I've enjoyed any Small World game. Definitely.
Likewise.
I would say that is decisively more fun than Small World.
I have not played Small World, but I still love this game a
It's
lot.
very good.
It is.
Like-
It does have a quite a similarity to Small World. Actually, you can compare it quite nicely in some ways.
Yeah.
But I think I prefer the mechanics in this of like getting the people in certain amount of territories with the cards and not swapping races than I do the whole race thing in Small World.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is
I
more
would
fun.
also
Meatier
say-
than Small
It
World
does.
as
It's a
well.
bit
It is
meatier, but it's
meatier,
not
yeah.
really more complicated. It's just meatier.
No, yeah.
Like, considering I'm fairly new to strategy games, like, I would think that would be a good starter game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Like a
I
really
I
thought
would
good
definitely
start
choose
game.
this over Small World to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Because it's you know, the rulebook isn't that thick.
yeah,
you
it's
know,
really
just,
quite
and
straightforward.
it's all on the pads, so
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
have to go through trying to work
Absolutely.
out how everything's going to
Yeah,
work.
and
You
yeah,
just
it really
get
is all
straight
cards.
into it.
Basically, never had a question where we were like, "What's this card mean?" We were
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like,
You do have the annoying pause of having to stop and read all your cards to make sure you haven't missed
Sure,
anything.
but it's not too
I
bad
think that's
either.
only annoying.
No,
To be fair-
and not
Yeah.
like war.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That's only annoying when we're recording it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when we're actually.
When we're playing it, nobody cares. So.
Yeah, I'm stuck in a weird position. For a lot of this, I don't have that much to say, but it's just solid all the way through. Okay,
Art.
the art is lovely.
Yeah.
The art is really nice. In places, some of the anatomy on the art is a bit weird and wonky, but it's only occasional, and the art style is very distinctive, even though there's at least 2 or 3 artists in it, I think. Really striking. Components-wise, I guess it's kind of mixed. I love the art on the cards. I wish the card was a bit thicker, as I said in the thing. The miniatures are all right. Like, they're fine. I
Yeah.
like...
There's nothing to complain about them.
No, there's
Great.
nothing to complain about. They're fine. But these territory cards, oh my god, these territory cards are some of my favourite components I've ever seen in the game.
They're so beautiful.
They're beautiful, they're interesting, I love how they interlock and how they come out, and that's really
And
nice.
they're all unique.
And you're
It's
kind
really
of
nice.
building a little island, like building a little land.
I was totally,
like that.
I was totally expecting it to be like the 4 that you start with,
Yeah.
and they just bring out
Yeah,
more.
another-
Yeah,
I wasn't
yeah,
expecting it them
another
to be
They're all different.
different,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
amazing. I love
Which is
that.
really nice. I think each turn has a lot of variability because everyone is drawing from the same pool of 17 action cards. and then doing things based on those. And they've also got a fairly big deck
I would
of
say
these and these. There's variation within each
the
turn.
action cards, it's quite nice because you very quickly get an idea of what all of the cards
Sure,
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so each round you're thinking, right, so I need these cards.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
I'm going to do
I'm gonna
this
wait for
next
this one
bit
to
of
come round.
strategy.
Yeah.
But there's
So it's really
unpredictability.
great.
But there's still unpredictability in like things like the epic tail cards because there's way more of them, and you wouldn't see them as much, so you
Yeah.
won't remember them. And then people can still throw you a curveball,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which
Still good.
is either really good and varied or incredibly frustrating, depending on who it's happening to and how you feel
Still,
about it.
still actually
But-
good game mechanic.
Yeah, it's a
Really
good game
good,
mechanic.
yeah.
I would also say that the 2 games we've played of this, both of them have been super close.
Yeah. It seems incredibly well
And
balanced.
how often do you have a 4-player game that's all like really? It's not spoilering. We played a 4-player game and the ending was really close between all 4
Yeah,
people.
like
Yeah,
I
it was
didn't.
great.
I had no idea it was
So-
going to win, and also like everyone could.
That's really good. Everyone was engaged all the way through. Usually we come away from a first big playthrough of a game for most people with at least one person going, "It's all right."
Yeah.
How
This
like
is
We
solid
came away,
stuff.
yeah,
How
we
many-
came away from this.
how many games of Smallwood have you had where every single player nearly won the game?
Well, yeah, exactly.
That's
Yeah.
never.
Sometimes
happened.
you think they're going to because the scoring's
it's
hidden.
pretty
but
much always one
um,
person kind of, or one or two people.
one or
run
two
away with
people
it.
run away with
Yeah.
the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lovely, light, easily approachable strategy game that looks pretty, is varied within itself,
Mhm.
and has, from all intents and purposes, as far as we can see, a really good sense of balance.
Yeah.
The
Agreed.
multiple victory conditions mean people are constantly chasing different things.
Yeah.
I won't say what happened in our playthrough, but I definitely started out going for one victory condition and then ended up railing right into another one.
Yeah, I went for 2 different ones as well.
Mine was the last resort. And
You can't. It's very difficult to predict. It's super good. It costs the recommended retail price in the UK is £40. I would imagine relatively that will be roughly the same in. I don't know where it's printed from actually. I think it's distributed by Asmodee, which would indicate it's printed in Europe. Which means that Europe would probably get it slightly cheaper, in America probably about the same as here, relatively speaking, accounting for various things. But yeah, 35 to £40 I've seen it around for. That is
Right.
an absolutely adequate price for this.
Is that right?
Do we
Um,
have anything bad to say about this game?
No. It's a bit. I'd be like, oh, that's a lot of money, but it's
it
a good
can be
game.
horribly disappointing because it's so close.
And you're constantly
like,
strategizing.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna win, and then it's like, no,
Yeah, I was really.
I think
I'm not gonna.
I think if you're a hardcore grognard strategist, you might not like this game because of the element of randomness to it. There's randomness in the draft, both. Oh, you will know the phrase for this, the terms for this mathematician. But the randomness of the card deal. But there's also randomness in people passing things intentionally to you that they are not randomizing, but are randomized in the approach to what you're looking for.
But
Yeah.
I mean,
I can't
Short
think
of
of a
it-
word for that.
short
Okay.
of a game having total agency over everything, you know, that this is the
But a
level,
lot of
this is the
strategy
level of,
games do.
this is the level of randomness that I would consider is better than dice. So, like,
Yeah, agreed. But a lot of
To be fair though, I think
Yeah.
it is. I don't want to say this, but it is a bit of a role playing game in a way because it's got the lovely art. It's very sort of
yeah,
you
sure.
sort
You
of
could
get
play it.
enveloped in it, and
You-
without the sort of random surprises, it wouldn't feel very realistic.
no, I
Yeah.
agree completely.
Like I think this sort of
But
element of surprise, and
equally,
you're not complete agency, just makes
Yeah,
it
yeah,
more
yeah.
like real, like you are actually
Yeah.
just clans
But-
roaming around.
Yeah.
it is very
It's very
satisfying
nice.
strategically though. It's not like you feel like you're like, oh,
Yeah.
it's a bit too light for that.
No.
I don't think I'd ever be like, oh, I haven't
And
quite
it's-
got enough depth.
It's got a nice
Yeah.
curve as well. In the beginning of the game is very straightforward and easy, and then it
Yeah.
gets complex as it goes on, which is exactly what you want
Yeah.
with new players.
Yeah.
Because the first few turns they'll be going, all right, I have new clans there, and obviously I do that. And then as it goes on, as they start to clue into the different interactions between the cards,
Yeah.
they'll see more opportunities because more opportunities are there.
Yeah.
But no one else will have been able to dash away ahead of them because
Yeah.
the opportunities aren't there yet.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I
yeah.
like it.
Negative things to say about this game. Come on, the miniatures are unexciting.
Yeah.
The
That's
honestly, the nicest thing I like about them is their vibrant colours. The sculpts are actually alright in a quite
These
good
aren't
film.
negatives. These are just
These aren't
like they're
negatives.
neutral.
I would
Yeah.
like firmer cardstock for these. I've
Oh
already
my
said
god,
that.
this is so
I do
pernickety.
also like that
Um,
we have like each of the colours have several different casts that they have. It just adds
Yeah,
a bit of
the different
something.
casts.
I suppose
That's
you
still a
could.
good thing.
I suppose you could say
That's
two.
still a good thing.
I suppose you could say 2 to 4 player is kind of limiting. 2 to 4 player is quite a small area.
That's a good point.
4 player max is quite
I
low.
think this could hack 5 players.
I don't see why it's
maybe
limited
even
to
6.
4. I mean, there might be testing reasons. We don't-
There might be testing
We
reasons.
don't
I'd
know.
love to see an expansion that added more stuff and
Yeah, yeah.
5 or 6 players.
We'll say
Probably-
we haven't talked about the deeds. And
The-
I really like
Talk about the
deeds.
deeds and they're so good.
Deeds are really cool.
Deeds are really good. Basically, you can earn deeds throughout the game via various combinations of things that reduce 1 from your victory condition requirements.
Yeah.
And again, flexibility.
If you've got them, then
Lovely.
You can be like, it's totally fine. They're like 1 away from winning. We don't need to
Mhm.
worry about them. Boom, they've got a deed.
yeah.
Okay. Here's
Really
here's what something that's kind of a negative for me. It might not be for you. I don't like games that have this card in, and this card is in every fucking game.
counters.
The counter card.
Counter cards.
Yeah,
I like
'cause
that.
it's like you can't predict it, and it's just like no.
I specifically like that card.
But the thing is it balances because whoever chose the no card hasn't got an action card.
I suppose it's true.
And so they're obviously on the defense.
And the actions of this are quite powerful.
If
as
you're,
well.
for example, I didn't choose that card until I thought people were going to start taking me out because they were
Yeah,
worried
yeah.
I was going to win.
Mhm.
And I thought if I get that, then I can stop them from taking me out. But
Yeah.
otherwise, I wouldn't have chosen it because
Yeah.
I want to
Sure.
do things.
That's
Yeah.
fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I guess, and it's a good way to instantly put in some balance against someone running away from it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get frustrated when my things get randomly
We know
shot
you
down.
do.
That doesn't
Yeah.
mean it's a bad game mechanic map. That just makes you
It's,
angry.
no, but it's a thing that people who don't like that kind of thing won't like.
Yeah, that's fair enough. It's worth pointing out, but a lot of games have that too.
Yes, and I don't like it in those either.
I think the clearest demonstration to me that this was like a fantastic game and really enjoyed it was after we finished playing. It was so close and we all enjoyed it so much that we all got up off the table and started shouting at each other from excitement to all the things that had just happened. We were
No,
just
it's
like,
good.
ah! We just wanted to discuss it. Like, I am
I-
going to buy this game at some point.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it could do with a more players option.
Yeah.
It could perhaps do with.
If they brought out an expansion, then that would
Yeah, I think an expansion would be nice. I can think of a number of interesting ways to expand it in different directions. £40. It is all right. I guess I wouldn't mind having a bit more in the box for £40. But I mean, it's
Pretty
not.
happy with
It's
it. At the
actually
end-
pretty standard.
At the
Yeah,
end of
I'd
the
say
day,
it's
if
normal.
you had any more and it was just going to like
Clog up the
Clog
game.
Yeah,
up
there's no
game.
reason to have
Why
more in it.
have
You could
more?
argue for a
Sure.
£25 game or something instead.
Yeah. I don't know.
Let's stop trying to find negatives. It's fine. We don't need to find
It's great.
negatives
We love it.
specifically.
Yeah, more action cards, maybe different variety in action cards. I don't know. On it,
I love
but
it.
really, when your main criticism of the game is there's not more of it,
It's a good sign.
Damn you for not
I
making more
actually,
game.
I'm totally struggling. I do think hardcore strategists might not appreciate this game.
Yeah, I could believe that, but I think everyone.
Bit too element of random.
You have
bit too element.
Pretty hardcore. I would say
Yeah.
people who are into strategy games will definitely enjoy this. You have to be properly
Also-
hardcore to not enjoy it.
Also, I would say that people who are into strategy who only have an interest in battering the opponents directly.
Yeah, there's none of that.
That
So much,
you
yeah.
do end up fighting each other in this game, but not as much as in a lot of other strategy games.
I don't know
I like that, but
about your like hardcore strategy players won't like the random element because you said earlier there's an amount of randomness with the dealing,
yeah.
but there's also a level of tactical
Game.
randomness
Card
of
counting.
what do you want to
Yeah,
pass on
yeah,
to the next
yeah.
person.
Yeah.
All right, it's flawless. Like,
Fine.
It's less random than a dice game.
it's really good.
Yeah,
What-
it is.
okay, here we go. I wouldn't want
It's
to
true.
play this every gaming day in the way I would be happy to play certain other games every gaming day.
Are all those
Fair.
games shorter though?
Yes.
I was gonna say.
Uh,
I bet none of those games are like long games.
We should talk
But
about that. This is
this wasn't even a bad length because I know
No.
No, this is
often
good.
on the box I go an hour and it takes
Yeah.
like 4 hours.
This was what, like an hour and a half?
this is one thing where of course it's an underestimation
They always
because
are.
it
No one
always
will be
is.
realistic.
It's
Everybody.
an hour. I'd say an average this is going to be an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Yeah. I don't think it, over two
I
is
think
extreme.
If you played it a bunch of times, it might come down
To an
to
hour.
nearly
Because
an hour.
a lot of it was staring at cards and trying to work out what they did.
Sure,
for
yeah,
me.
yeah.
Like, that's probably what
Some thinking.
took me.
Familiarity
Yeah.
would.
Well,
would
if
drop
I
that.
knew what every card did without having to
Yeah,
stare
yeah.
at the rules for like a few
Absolutely.
minutes, then we'd
It's
get
lis-
through it a lot quicker.
It's listed as 14 plus. I think younger players could do this.
I wouldn't go
maybe
younger.
a little bit
I
younger.
wouldn't go
but not
younger
too
than
much.
12. I could go down to 12.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
capable 12-year-old.
And I think a family with like older kids or whatever, Maybe not family game. No,
No.
too bashy, bouncy,
I don't
I
know.
could
It's not
see it
particularly
causing-
tricky
But I
mechanics.
could kind of see it being a bit of an upset because it is so close.
It's
but-
not
Yeah.
directly antagonistic though. It's just that it's close and you're really
No,
into
but
it that
you
it's
might
bad.
feel a little letdowns and stuff. Does it
Yeah.
say something about us that our main consideration for family games is what would make people argue?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
That ability to easily reject what people have
Yeah.
worked so hard to.
Also, if you're grognardian after a more historically accurate game, don't do this.
But
It
if you're
is
working on
historical.
like mythology,
Yeah, then do that.
Good looking
Right,
at the
so
logic.
yeah, it
Really
does do a
struggling.
thing, and it does do as indicated. Go over to our playthrough for a bit of an intro thing, but it does talk about Celt and Celtic a lot, and that gets my goat slightly.
Yeah.
It's Bronze Age Irish. That's fine.
This is
Irish
the problem with the
mythology.
game.
To me,
That's
that, like,
stupid.
within
Celts
the game,
doesn't exist.
I know this is very
Okay.
odd, but there's not a lot of reference to Celts.
No, it doesn't
They've just
exist.
used
No,
the-
that's to be fair.
There's
That's
literally
that's right. To be
It- to
fair.
me, a
the
genuine-
rule
they've
book
just
does say
they've
things
used
like that.
they've used like the language like
Yeah.
like mythology.
To me, it genuinely feels just
And they've
mythologically inspired by.
They've just
which
used
is
the
fine.
art,
Yeah.
like
It totally is because there's like a territory for the Gates of Tin and Ark and stuff.
Exactly.
So like,
It's mythology.
and all the epic tale cards are like Cullen and the Morrigan and stuff like that. But apparently, Inish flawless.
Yeah. Just
We are
straightforward.
honestly struggling to think
Really good.
of problems
You know
with
what?
it.
we can't figure out how to pronounce the name. That's a
Yeah,
problem.
there's that. I think it is Inish. I remember reading or
Inish,
hearing
yeah,
that somewhere.
makes sense.
Okay.
I think that makes
I
sense.
think it is Inish.
I
But
like
yeah,
this.
absolutely solid game. I know it made some waves, probably based off the back of a really positive Shut Up and Sit Down review.
Mhm.
But it's not making enough waves.
Yeah, it's
This
pretty
needs
good.
to be, in 10 years' time, the same kind of tabletop classic that Small World is.
Yeah. It should have.
It's
It's
that
very
good.
better.
It's that
Yeah.
good. I think the appeal is less broad than Small World because more people like goofy fantasy stuff than
Yeah.
Irish
This is-
mythology, maybe.
yeah.
But this is lovely. It's really worth your time. We all recommend it, which is
Solidly, yeah. Completely.
not rare, but yeah. So yeah, Inish.
Hey, Matt.
Get Inish.
You know what we should do now?
What?
We should play another game of Inish.
Play another game of Inish.
Fuck
Let's
Come
never
on.
stop playing Inish.
I want
Yeah.
to play another game of Inish.
Yeah.
The only flaw I would say that I can think of is it leaves you emotionally just.
Oh yeah,
Just-
it's
Yeah,
devastating.
just-
It's one of those tired ones.
'Cause it's so close.
Yeah. I wouldn't. This is definitely not a warm up to a game of Thrones or Relic.
Oh no, it's the
no.
game.
So there we go. That's our overview. If you want to,
Unless you have nerves of steel.
unless you have Nerves of Steel, which we do, but
Obviously.
not for the viewer at home. So that's our overview. If you want to check out the other overviews on our channel, check the playlist that you probably found this in. As I said before, there's a playthrough of Inish in the video description below. Likes, comments, subscribes, Patreon, etc., etc. They're all good stuff. Let us know what you think, and we'll see you next time on ATCB. Cool. Goodbye.
Bye.
It's amazing.